Giants of the ancient world. Legends, evidence, and mysteries. Imagine a world where giants roamed the earth. Beings of immense stature, their footsteps thundered across valleys, their shadows cast across towering mountains. These figures, larger than life in both legend and physical form, are a constant thread in the myths, stories, and histories of nearly every ancient civilization. Could they have been real? Were they symbols, a lost race, or even visitors from the stars? Let's journey through the lands of our ancestors to explore their tales, the artifacts they left behind, and the eerie clues that hint at a world where giants may not have been just myth. The giants of the Bible. The ancient texts of the Bible speak plainly of giants. The Nephilim, mentioned in Genesis, were described as the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men. These were not ordinary beings. They were said to be heroes, warriors of renown, towering above mere mortals. Later in the story of the spies sent to Canaan, these giants reappear. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them, the spies reported, terrified of the Nephilim who inhabited the land. These accounts paint a picture of a race of beings so massive and powerful that even the bravest warriors trembled at the sight of them. Were these just metaphors for fearsome foes, or were they describing something real, something we've yet to fully understand? Myth and history, intertwined. Step out of the Middle East and into the heart of Mesopotamia, and you'll find tales of the Anunnaki. These beings, gods to the Sumerians, were said to descend from the heavens, bringing knowledge and power. Unlike many gods of myth, the Anunnaki were often described as physically imposing, towering over humans. Some believe these figures weren't gods at all, but extraterrestrials, beings from another world who once walked among us. If so, could they have been the inspiration for the giants of the Bible and countless other legends? Travel further west to Greece, and the tales of the Titans come to life. These primordial giants, led by Kronos, were said to have ruled the world before the Olympian gods overthrew them. They were massive, immortal, and powerful, embodying raw forces of nature. In Spain, whispers of the Gentilones speak of ancient giants who lived in the Pyrenees Mountains, while in Scandinavia, the Jotnar, colossal beings of Norse mythology, were both friends and foes of the gods. Even in Britain, legends of giants abound. The story of Gog and Magog tells of two giants who defended the ancient city of London. Geoffrey of Monmouth, a medieval chronicler, wrote that giants were the island's first inhabitants, long before humans arrived. The builders of impossible structures. The stories don't end with myths and legends. Scattered across the globe are structures so massive and intricate that they seem almost impossible to have been built by humans. Consider Baalbek in Lebanon, where a single stone, the stone of the pregnant woman, weighs over 1,000 tons. Even with modern machinery, moving such a monolith would be a challenge. Who built this? How did they do it? In Peru, the walls of Sacsayhuaman rise with precision that defies explanation. The stones, some weighing over 200 tons, fit together so perfectly that even a blade cannot slip between them. And of course, there are the pyramids of Giza. While these marvels are attributed to the ancient Egyptians, their sheer size and engineering perfection have led some to wonder if they were guided, or even built, by beings beyond human capability. Uncovering the bones of giants. The mystery deepens with discoveries that seem to support these ancient tales. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, reports emerged from North America of enormous skeletons unearthed in burial mounds. Some measured up to 9 feet tall, their proportions suggesting a strength and stature far beyond ordinary humans. One of the most intriguing discoveries comes from Lovelock Cave in Nevada. Local legends tell of red-haired giants who terrorized Native American tribes. Archaeologists digging in the cave uncovered bones and artifacts that fueled these stories. While many of these finds have been dismissed as hoaxes or misidentifications, they continue to spark debate. If real, they could be the remains of the very beings described in myths and legends. The giants of legend. Where did they come from? Across the ages, tales of giants have captivated the human imagination. These towering figures appear in sacred texts, oral traditions, and ancient folklore, often playing pivotal roles as protectors, destroyers, or enigmatic beings of great power. Some of the most famous giants in history have origins tied to celestial realms, ancient Earth, or mysterious otherworldly places. Among them, the giants of Native American legend and the biblical Nephilim stand as some of the most fascinating and mysterious. The biblical giants, the Nephilim, and their origins. The Nephilim are perhaps the most famous giants of all. Their story begins in the ancient texts of the Bible, particularly in Genesis 6:4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. But who were the sons of God? Many interpretations suggest they were celestial beings, angels, or divine entities who descended to earth. The union of these beings with human women produced the Nephilim, a race of giants described as mighty warriors, feared by all who encountered them. The land of Canaan, as described in Numbers 13:33, was said to be home to the descendants of these giants. When Israelite spies explored the land, they reported back with terror, describing themselves as mere grasshoppers in comparison to the Nephilim. Some ancient Jewish texts, like the Book of Enoch, delve deeper into the origins of the Nephilim. In these accounts, fallen angels known as the Watchers descended to earth, defied divine law, and mated with humans, resulting in the birth of these giants. The Nephilim were not only massive in size, but were also seen as corrupting forces, leading to the Great Flood in the story of Noah. Were the Nephilim divine human hybrids, extraterrestrial visitors, or metaphors for immense power? Their origins remain a subject of debate, but their legacy is etched deeply into the fabric of biblical history. Native American giants, the red-haired behemoths. Thousands of miles away from the lands of the Bible, Native American tribes have their own stories of giants. In the oral histories of the Paiute people, there is a tale of the Site-Ka, a race of red-haired giants who were said to inhabit the Nevada region. According to legend, the Site-Ka were violent and cannibalistic, preying on smaller tribes and dominating the land. The Paiutes eventually united to drive the giants into a cave, known today as Lovelock Cave, and set it ablaze, eradicating the threat. This legend gained attention in the early 20th century when archaeologists excavating Lovelock Cave discovered human remains, artifacts, and peculiar evidence that seemed to support the story. Among the findings were unusually large skeletal fragments and sandals sized for beings far taller than an average human. While some scholars dismissed these as exaggerated accounts, the Paiute legend persists, leaving many to wonder whether there's a kernel of truth behind the tales of red-haired giants. Other Native American cultures also speak of giants. The Comanche chief Quanah Parker once recounted a story passed down through his people about a race of giants who roamed the Americas long before humans. These giants, he said, were a divine creation, but were ultimately destroyed for their hubris and wickedness. Where did these giants come from? The origins of giants in Native American and biblical traditions seem to point toward otherworldly realms. In the Bible, the Nephilim are explicitly tied to heavenly beings descending to earth. Similarly, many Native American legends attribute the giants to a time before humanity, suggesting they were either created by gods or came from the stars. There are striking what were the giants? So who or what were these giants? Some researchers propose they were a now extinct hominid species, perhaps wiped out by environmental changes or conflict with humans. Others suggest they could have been extraterrestrial visitors, their advanced technology and immense size making them gods in the eyes of early humans. And then there's the possibility that they were something else entirely, a memory passed down through the ages, a symbol of the power and mystery of a world long gone. As we sift through ancient texts, marvel at impossible architecture, and uncover strange remains, one thing becomes clear. Humanity's fascination with giants is as old as civilization itself. Whether they were real beings, metaphors for divine power, or visitors from the stars, the stories of giants challenge our understanding of history and prehistory. Could they have existed? The evidence, scattered and debated, invites us to keep searching. And perhaps one day we'll uncover the truth behind the giants of the past. Until then, their footsteps echo through the corridors of time, urging us to look up and wonder.